So, do you guys remember what we did talked last week?
Yes.
Aishwarya, can you give me some idea?
The last part, the gist of it was we were discussing what is the minimum machinery we need for intelligence. And we left off saying we will look at the part in evolution where the mammals and reptiles had a common ancestor.
Okay. And do you remember the intelligence versus learning discussion?
Yes. We concluded that intelligence is to do with learning new things, but also associating the new things to different contexts.
Aishwarya, that is slightly different what I think. Can you say it again? Intelligence versus learning.
Intelligence is when you're able to associate the things that you learn. Yes.
Associate things you learn. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone remember the difference between intelligence and learning?
The inbuilt system that we have versus...
This is built-in. Intelligence is built-in.
Intelligence is built-in?
No.
Is it intelligence built-in or?
No.
I thought you said if we try to associate one skill to the other thing, that's intelligence.
One skills to other thing? That's
finding the association between two different skills.
finding the association between two skills.
Like how you can use two different skills to come in combination to make a new skill to perform some new task.
To perform some new task.
For example, like the training of a lion in the circus, lion knows how to fear, it knows how to jump, but the ringmaster, by making through his training, is making it associate that this kind of fear makes me like I have to jump through this hoop to go away from this kind of fear.
Okay.
Is it about making new rules?
Yeah.
What is the making new rule is what?
Intelligence.
Okay. There is some misunderstanding here. So Paul, do you have anything you want to add?
No.
Shade?
So making new rule, I think it's learning.
Pardon me?
Making new rules.
So making new rules. Okay.
It's
It's
learning.
learning. Okay.
But even intelligence.
Intelligence is something that is built inside.
Something built in.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I did not explain it well. Okay, there is a serious misunderstanding. So the point is that if we think Venn diagram of intelligence and learning, intelligence is this and learning is this. What do we mean? It means there can be intelligence without learning, or there can be no intelligence, no learning without intelligence. Yes. So the point I want to make here is, let's make a very simple definition of intelligence. Oh, by the way, can anybody give me an example of intelligence without learning?
The B?
B? Yeah. Okay, that's a good example. So let's define intelligence very simply. It's a SMART rule. So intelligence and smart is a synonym, so it's a bad wording. So rule that works for your well-being. Okay,
can we call it like a meta rule, as in the rules that tell you how to form new rules?
No. Don't. That's the actually wrong.
Okay.
It's the for the learning. It's the definition of learning. Okay. So intelligence is a rule that works for your well-being.
So is it making rules or it's just
Making rule is learning. Learning is ability to make new rule. The emphasis is here at new.
So intelligence is ability to choose the rules that help you in the well-being.
So let's say you have many rules, and the ability to choose rules that works for that
This
situation is the intelligence. Okay. So, Aishwarya, do you now understand that intelligence without learning is possible? B. So, B has a rule that works for B's well-being, but it does not have a ability to make new rule.
so
Do I
we're-
make sense?
Yes. So we're saying intelligence is somewhat built in.
No.
No.
Intelligence. So here is the very important thing. You should make this very clear. If you do not understand, it will make me very sad. Intelligence can be built in or acquired. So there are intelligence, so can be built in, and what do I mean? So when someone say, is intelligence built in? Some intelligence is built in, some are not. Do I make sense?
Yeah.
So make new rule.
So the
So
acquire,
the rule that works for your well-being, there can be two kind of rules. One rule is built-in rule,
Like your instinct.
and the second rule is acquired rule.
So would it make the definition better if we add choosing a rule that works for your well-being?
So choosing a rule. So choosing a rule. So let's think about you wrote a program. Okay. So and rule is a program. Okay. So you have 100 programs. And depending on situation, you have to choose one program to execute out of this 100. So there should be another program
That helps you choose.
That helps.
that not helps you, that choose.
That choose.
There is nothing that helps you.
Okay,
Okay.
that is the one
It
that
is
chooses.
what is doing the job.
Another program. So it's just another rule. So it's just a rule. Do I make sense?
Yeah.
So there is no difference between this one rule that choosing which rule to run and 100 other rules. It's just the rules.
You can learn how to be intelligent better.
You can learn how
to-
to intelligent better. Ruben, do I make sense?
yeah.
Shade?
Yeah.
So,
I have one
mm-hmm.
curiosity. So intelligence is, as you said, for well-being. So not dying is part of intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah, so survival instincts is one kind of intelligence.
Do you want to die?
No, I mean people who suicides, or in that case, what?
Oh.
would you say?
So
The
the
mental
tricky
illness.
part is there are always edge case.
So suicide would be considered as someone who is not
Yes.
able to handle his emotional intelligence.
So suicide, let's say there is two kinds of suicide. One is failure, and the other is a sacrifice. Okay? So to begin with a simple one, sacrifice. You sacrifice your life to save humanity. That's what Bruce Willis in Armageddon did. Okay? So this one is a rule that works for you. And here, you is not you, it's your gene. Okay? So you want deliver or maintain or protect your gene from extinct. Okay, that's one easy sacrifice to explain. The other is a failure. You got so stressed out, you die. Okay, then you can think of this in jungle's term. You are a lion, but you cannot hunt prey, so you died. This kind of failure situation is similar to that. You tried, you want, you want to live well. You wanted to live well, but you failed. For example, you lost your job. You lost your wife because of your mistake. Okay, so you do not have the
mental strength to
yeah.
go on with your life.
Yeah, so that's why he committed suicide. Okay, so
can we call the sacrifice as a new kind of intelligence that was learned?
Sacrifice behavior can be built in. Think of ant or bee. Bee is better. So the honeybee, when they sting,
They die.
they die. Okay, so if someone says intelligence is built in, it's a misunderstanding. Okay, intelligence is just a rule, and it can be built in or acquired. However, learning is the ability to acquire or make new rule. Okay, so if we look at the animal world, which one, if we make a number, I guess, intelligence with learning, animals that has intelligence with learning, and if we compare them, animals, intel without learning. Which one is larger? Which group is larger?
Without.
So, Sanas? Without? Paul?
I think without.
Without. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Learning is expensive thing to do. Okay, so if you met a tiger and if you want to learn what can I do when I meet tiger, then it's too late. You should have a built-in program to run away. So most animals cannot afford to learn. Okay, so
I have one question here. If we consider the evolution, in that case, the first species, I think they learn to survive, or I mean,
Okay.
This part
evolution-
was not built in their brain or gene.
Pardon me?
I mean, surviving. I mean, to
Ruben, can you make the question complete sentence?
yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So, if we consider the evolution
Mhm.
of
Animals.
lives,
Mhm.
animals, then I think the earlier species, they did not have that built-in part to run away from predators. I
Mhm.
think somehow they learned, right?
So, if we think about the evolution,
That is
so can you give me a concrete example of the animals that do not run away from the predator?
Actually,
Maybe not running away from a predator, but things like, say, fish that develop gills to survive in water.
Yeah, you are
So
coming a
first-
little too
Yeah.
fast, too early. So,
Mhm.
what is the concrete example of animal that do not run away from the predator?
The problem
When
with
the
that is
past-
it goes too far back. So
Oh,
it's
no,
still
no.
not. I mean, I don't think there is any
Intelligence?
Animal, no, any animal in the history that does not run away from its prey.
Oh, there is a lot.
Ants? Do they run away
Ants?
from their predator?
Ants,
There are-
I think they are run away.
Ants run away.
Yeah, ants run away. So, any concrete example? Ruben, you started the discussion, so you have some
I mean,
idea
very,
about.
I mean, very early
Mhm.
so micro species. I mean, when the first cells were developed, in those cases, then what? would
So,
happen?
what is the name of this
Sure,
ancient?
the name actually?
The bacteria and fungi basically.
Yeah, kind of those.
Bacteria?
I mean-
Bacteria is okay, but it's too much. How about amoeba?
Yeah, one cell animal.
Yeah, one cell. Well, have you heard about the plankton?
Plant.
The thing that whale eats? Yeah. They are one cell structure. Okay, so does amoeba has intelligence or not? That is actually very good question to ask because it gives you idea about where we should define this rule that works for your well-being, right? So where we should limit ourselves. So we can claim that amoeba has enough rules for its well-being because it multiplies. It lives well in the world. Plankton lives well in the world. It has a rule, multiply. Multiply a lot. Okay? Multiply a lot is their rule, right? So one might claim that by this definition, we can say the amoeba or plankton has the rule that works for their well-being, and amoeba has intelligence. But we feel, oh no, it's not. It does not make sense. Maybe the definition needs to be updated. Okay, I started with a very simple definition, but let's say there is animals without intelligence. Okay, then what's the we put amoeba, plankton, things like that. and how we can update our rule to make this intelligence more reasonable. I'll start with one how I say suggestion. So you said rule. How can we implement a rule? Okay. How many people in this room knows the protein, enzyme, DNA, things like that, high school biology? Sanas? And anyone else? Please raise your hand if you know what this.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the names, but I forgot actually the detail.
You forgot the details.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you know what is the DNA?
It's some sequence of A, C, G, T.
So, what these sequences are used for?
Yeah, I mean the design of a species. Actually.
Design of species. What
Features.
species? Pardon me?
Features.
Picture.
Features.
Features.
Features,
Yeah.
characteristics.
It's part of nucleus of cell.
So, this DNA is
It has copy of every how to create every possible organ and how to create.
what do you mean by organ? What is the organ in the DNA?
No, the DNA does not have it. It has information
So,
about things like how
DNA has the information or drawing. What is the
blueprint.
pardon me?
Blueprint.
Blueprint? Yeah, that's correct. Blueprint. Blueprint for what?
For creating life.
Creating what is life?
A bunch of living cells.
What is the living cells?
Okay, they are a combination of different molecules.
So you have answers here,
Yeah.
right? So animal is a machine, right? Machine has a physical part. Physical part. And this physical part is made of the protein, right? You have lots of machine, and the blueprint for the machine is this DNA. So DNA has the rules like this. If, let's say, there is enough food, I'll make a very simple build a sex machine, right? It's a sex is for the very replicate. So you have one cell, you have enough food, then
Split it.
the machine for example, cutting this cell to make a two machine. You need a machine to cut the one cell into two. So if you have enough food, build a replicate is a very complex term, so cutting machine, cell cutting machine. Okay, and there will be another machine that replicate the part, and there will be another machine that split the two machines, things like that. There will be lots of machines that require to do this. Okay, so this is a rule. Okay, that was implemented by DNA. So when we say there was I demonstrated one mechanism for building on intelligence, can anybody give me another mechanism?
saying DNA is one mechanism
Yes.
of building intelligence.
How can we implement our rule?
In terms of exhibiting that behavior? In terms of exhibiting that behavior
Yes.
related to that rule?
Yeah. Rule is a rule for behavior, for example, right? So how you can actually build the rule, or how you can actually learn the machine?
Repetition.
Pardon me?
Repetition.
Repetition? No. I mean biological machine.
The connections in your brain.
I'll give you one example. How can we implement a rule? You build a computer with motor. Okay? So if someone asks me, please build a behavior rule and execute the rule, I will probably build write a program that runs on the computer to move the motor to do something. Okay, that is one example of mechanism. So I'm asking you, what is the another mechanism? And Aishwarya said,
The links which are formed in your brain. I don't
Brain.
know the technical term for it.
yeah, so brain.
Memory and a module for memory to.
Yeah, memory, but memory, things like that. But we are talking about something from the amoeba. So something that will differentiate from amoeba. So don't think too much in terms of the human level intelligence, because human is has lots of components, right? So try to think in terms of the probably B. Yeah, B level.
So flying, you take behavior flying and then you add rules like the wings.
So
for
yeah,
bee,
wings.
At the rate at which it has to flap the wings. To
Yeah, wing. You have a wing. And you have to control the rate of
flap.
flapping. Then you need some kind of circuit that controls, and this circuit is based on the neural circuit. Neural circuit controls the wing. And I think there's one component missing here. How did you change the this rate of the flying? When you should flap faster? When should you flap slowly?
Based on how you sense your environment.
Senses. Okay, very good. Okay. So let's define intelligence in more precise term. Okay. Intelligence is a machine that has a sensor and probably processor, actuator. And there is a rule that rules for
How to process the sensor data.
was it processor? Sensor?
How to process the sensor data, one rule is there.
Yeah, so sensor and what did I say here?
Neural circuit.
Processor.
Processor.
Yeah, okay. So there is a rule for the processor that, what do I mean by works? That modifies the actuator based on the sensor input for your well-being. Okay? Ruben, do I make sense? Okay? So, okay, we didn't progress that much further. But I think now we have a better understanding of the intelligence and the learning. So,
I just have a question.
Mhm.
Based on that definition, so do we put what do we put in the non-intelligent section?
something For example, that does not have a sensor.
Do we?
So does amoeba has a sensor?
I'm not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
It does have a sensor. Its whole outline, its whole border is a sensor. It's called pseudo.
Cytoplasm.
Okay.
Because it forms arms around. So when it senses
It's
food, it
this
forms-
sensor is like how I say protein level, enzyme level sensor,
Mhm.
and let's make it so. This amoeba, the processor, is if you insist, I would say something that has a. This is tough. Something that has a electrical circuit. So if you claim that, oh, professor, the amoeba has to sense there is enough food, and it has actuate the cutting machine. So it has a sensor and actuator, and probably we can think DNA as a processor. Then I will slightly modify. The processor should be electrical circuit. Okay.
There is
So
electricity
can-
also, because the power also is in mitochondria. That is what is supplying the electricity to the borders of the amoeba, so that when it goes near.
No. I mean processor does not. I don't think processor does not work on the electrical circuit. It's working on the chemical distribution.
Yeah, but in living carbon-based life form, electricity is produced because of this, right? Like even in the brain, it's the potassium and the potassium and the sodium ions that flow through the neurons that generate the electricity.
So,
the
yeah.
ions. So the chemical ions. We don't have electron flow. We have ion flowing.
So
Carbon life form.
the ion flowing generates an electrical change, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this one, there is no electrical circuit. This one,
Okay, yeah.
this
There's no
one
circuit.
itself is
A single unit
electrical,
of the
electrical. So it's a battery.
It's a single unit of circuit. It's not
Yeah, as a
confounded.
single unit, it is just a battery.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So based on our definition, can we say plants are also intelligent?
Let's say those plants has
Sensors? Yeah.
sensors. Some plants has some touch sensor,
Yeah, touch me.
and it has an actuator, so it can catch the fly. Okay.
But can we count the growing of the plant towards the sunlight as also a form of intelligence?
I don't think so, because the growing of the those plants into that direction does not involve how I say
Actuators?
electrical circuit. Is there electrical circuit?
There's no.
I don't think there is in the fly catching plant. There is no electrical circuit for the plant. As long as I know, it has a sensor, it has an actuator, but the mechanism of the processing is not electrical.
Yeah. Then can we say an IoT system is intelligent?
IoT?
Internet of Things.
Internet-
An IoT system.
IoT system is
Because it has sensors. It has-
intelligent, and actually in my writing that I begin, I started with a calculator. So calculator has the intelligence. Okay. However, calculator does not have the power to learn new thing. So I think IoT has a intelligence. Smart things has a intelligence, but they do not have the ability to learn new things. Okay, so this is related to application-specific AI and artificial general intelligence. So this intelligence, like IoT, they have a ability, they have a rule that works for their goal application, but they do not have the ability to learn new things. So that's the, this one belongs more of the application-specific AI, intelligence, and this one is more of the core of the artificial general intelligence. But so I think we actually reviewed what we talked last time. So let's see. But maybe yeah. Let's start the book reading seminar 1 week later, so that Ruben can have enough time. And for 1 more week, I'll do the like a general introductory talk. This talk is more about the crash course called Neuroscience. Okay, because you guys can learn lots of machine learning stuff everywhere, but things like this is slightly rare. However, how many people in this room have written their own intelligence? Okay, one.
Finish half.
You finish
Half.
half. You have.
Yeah.